Hi guys, what is going on and welcome to today's YouTube video. In today's video we are going to discuss the current state of Bitcoin. We're going to look at two potential trade setups that I'm eyeing up currently on the Bitcoin price, and we will also be discussing Ethereum and a potential trade setup that I'm eyeing up on that specific pair. So what I want to start off with is Bitcoin. We can see that after this huge rally towards the upside, we just basically started ranging. That is something that we see very often, and this is typically an area where a lot of people are getting chopped up massively. Now, why do we start ranging? Why is this actually a bullish sign for Bitcoin that we will still see another move towards the upside? It is because we are within that fourth wave. So we can count our Elliott waves like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Within that fourth wave, it's very common and very typical for Bitcoin to start ranging, to start moving very choppy sideways, to form a potential channel, to form a potential wedge before you get a fifth impulse towards the upside. This wave is designed for people to get chopped up before getting the fifth and final impulse towards the upside. Now, higher time frame and mid time frame, I discussed in Monday's YouTube video. I've discussed that if we take out this sell side, we can look for swing longs towards the upside. So if you haven't checked out that YouTube video yet, I will leave the link in the description. But today we will look for some more lower time frame trade scenarios. So the first one being is that we've simply swept the highs over here, right? So we have swept the range high, and afterwards we've found our way towards the downside. Now, after sweeping that range high, we formed a lower high over here, and this is where the supply was coming into the market. So if I go onto the 2-hourly time frame, we can see that we have a supply area over here, and we move to the downside afterward. We front run that supply area with this lower high, right? So that lower high basically did not only front run the supply area that we have over here, no, it did also front run the range high that we have over here. So I think this lower high makes up for a beautiful inducement. An inducement to take out, in which potentially after taking out that inducement, we can start looking for short positions. But I'm not going to set any limits here. Why am I not going to set any limits here, even though the setup is looking pretty good for it? It is because simply a lot of people are looking to short right now. And I'm telling you guys, we are in a very choppy fourth wave. So I wouldn't be surprised if we squeeze a little higher, take the stops above these highs and above this high, and then afterwards we come back down. Now this is a trade scenario that can still be traded. Let's say we do something like this. We sweep the supply, we sweep the highs. If we then fall back below the supply like this, so if we reclaim the supply, that would also mean that we would sweep Monday high, which actually adds to the confluence to then short it on the lower high that we will form within this supply area, where we also have the range high, that we then all have swept all of the liquidity. If we then fall back down below, you have a free short opportunity over here. Second scenario would be the one that I already drawn out a little bit ago, is that we tap the supply, get a rejection, sweep the high of the first bounce to the downside, in which that is being followed by a break of structure, and then we can short it on the lower high, or we can market enter a short over here with our invalidation below this high. Two potential trade scenarios. Why is this a potential trade scenario to me? Because we have a very clear drawn liquidity to the downside. This is a massive wick that we put in on Sunday, right? We know that these wicks are a big drawn liquidity. We can also see that this wick hasn't been filled for 50% yet. So if I'm extending this line to the right, we know that these big wicks at least get filled for 50% and usually also for 100%. Both of them have not got hit yet. Same with the wick that we put in over here. Did not get filled for 50% and also not for 100%. So we have two big draws on liquidity to the downside for Bitcoin. Also over here, we actually have a small little wick where we have a Darth Maul candle being formed. So the drawn liquidity to the downside is very clear for the Bitcoin price. And that is why I'm looking to short the supply or the sweep of the supply and the Monday high, and then the reclaim back into the range. What scenario would get me long? Now over here, we are going to mark out our Monday low. This is our Monday low. And if I'm going to switch on the EMAs, the two most important EMAs, which are the 200 EMA and the 200 moving average, we can see that both of them are aligning beautifully with our Monday low. So what will retail traders do? They will see these two EMAs and they will put their stop below those EMAs because they think that those EMAs will cover their stop. But they are not thinking ahead. They forget that we also have the Monday low over here. We do not only have the Monday low, we go to the daily time frame, we can see that this daily candle barely has a wick to the downside, which means there's even more liquidity below that wick, right? So personally, I expect us to at least take out this low. If we take out this low before taking out this high, I will be looking for longs. What would get me long? I will not set limits obviously below this low. That is a very stupid thing to do because we might just squeeze lower to this week and this week that I just mentioned. But if we are going to get below those EMAs, sweep the liquidity, maybe we even sweep this low over here, right? We sweep the liquidity. If we then manage to get back above these two EMAs and also the Monday low, preferably with a little bit of a low time frame break of structure like this, right? If we get anything like this, I will either market long it over here with our invalidation over here, or I will wait for the higher low play in which we retest these EMAs and the Monday low and position myself long over there with the same invalidation. Target would initially be this high, but in that case, we might just leave behind these wicks to get back to them later on, and we might just squeeze towards new yearly highs. Okay, so these are the two lower time frame trade scenarios that I'm eyeing up today on Bitcoin. Both of them have a nice probability of playing out in my opinion. Now let's move over to Ethereum, because also Ethereum is shaping up quite nicely for a potential trade setup. We can see, if we go a little bit on a higher time frame, is that Ethereum has been forming a rising wedge pattern. Higher high trend line, and we also had a higher low trend line over here. Let's get back to the 2 hourly time frame. I actually posted this on Twitter yesterday, and we did get a little bit of a breakdown out of this rising wedge. People were getting extremely bullish with this consolidation phase, but actually this consolidation phase took place within this liquidity pool, and we know that consolidations within liquidity pools above resistance are actually a sign of potential distribution before moving down. If they occur within a liquidity pool below support, they're actually a sign of potential accumulation before moving up, right? So a lot of people are getting bullish here. I was telling on Twitter, in my Discord server as well, be very careful because we were consolidating near this previous step and within this supply area over here. Okay, so also for Ethereum, we are seeing very clear draws on liquidity to the downside. We have a huge unfilled wick over here. If I'm going onto the, let's see, 12 hourly time frame, we can see that we have an even bigger unfilled wick over here, right? We all see this massive wick, which is another huge draw on liquidity. And if I'm going back to the 4 hour, we can see this wick did get filled a little bit by this wick, but this is a massive wick, which will be a massive draw on liquidity to at least get filled for 50%. But let's say we at least go and take out this wick that we put in on Sunday, right? Massive amounts of unfilled orders, massive amount of liquidity laying below that wick. Okay, now that means that we could be looking for a potential short. If I'm going to take the fixed range volume profile of the current week, so I'm starting at Monday at noon towards the current hour, I can see that we are seeing a breakdown out of this range over here. If we are seeing a potential completed auction, we preferably do not want to reclaim the value area low or the point of control. If we do, we probably squeeze higher. But if we retest the value area low and reject, or maybe a little higher and we reject the point of control, this wick will almost 100% get taken out. Also, this is a nice little wick, which could be a first potential take profit target, but we can see that this value area low is aligning beautifully with this previous area of support, right? So if I'm going to remove the fixed range volume profile, we can see over here key resistance, right? key resistance. We can see this hour 1 level over here is aligning perfectly with this hour 1 level over here. And we can see that the wicks were respecting that hour 1 level as well. We put in that hour 1 level, find a little bit of support over here, bounce, and then we drop off. So if we are going to retest that area, where we also have the value area low of the current week for Ethereum, where we also have the premium and discount of Ethereum's move to the downside. So if I'm going to switch on premium and discount, we can see that the discount is exactly aligning with that value area low, with the retest of the critical support or resistance level. If we are going to retest that and reject it, we will move to the downside. We will take out this week, and eventually go towards this unfilled wick over here on a 12-hourly time frame. Very clear and plain setup, developing potentially on Ethereum. Now, if we keep ranging over here, this would also set up for a potential PO3 pattern, right? Distribution. Over here, we get our manipulation part before the expansion to the downside, right? PO3, AMD, whatever you want to call it. If we keep ranging, we get our manipulation area within our area of interest. This will offer a nice little short opportunity for potentially lower levels. This is something I'm potentially eyeing up on Ethereum, guys. If you guys do have any questions after watching this analysis on both Bitcoin and Ethereum, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will make sure to answer all of the questions for you guys. Also, guys, I am going to start a free mentorship program, okay? I'm going to mentor 5 people for free. All you have to do is sign up with our affiliate link to either Bybit or BitGet, deposit $500, trade with the $500, send me your UID, and I will reveal the 5 winners on July the 16th, and I will mentor them for free. It will be an insane project. It will be an insane program. I can't wait for it. And it's all basically for free. All you have to do is sign up with our affiliate links. Links will be in the description. And I'll see you guys on Friday's video. Ciao, ciao.